I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. Come on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY. I'm here to talk to y'all about Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 10 or 11, based on what you guys have on your, on your TV guide. It shows up as season 10, episode 18 for me, but it may show up as season 11, episode 2 for you, okay? So what is up, every single one of y'all? Come on in. Hit the like button, share the video, become a subscriber if you are not already. I do want to say hello to some of my people because y'all already know this is a cookout. This is a cookout. So hopefully y'all have y'all dishes in the chat, okay? I need to know what the side dishes are. We got the grill going. Okay, I do want to say hello to my sister. This is my real sister. We got the same mom, same dad, okay? That's what they told us anyway. Come on in. You said you love the hat. So this is a hat that I made last night. Thank you, girl. This is the hat I made last night. This is my punk rock hat. I got my card. This is actually a bull, and my sister is a Taurus, so she likes the little card. But yeah, this is my punk rock get up, okay? Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you guys. You said, before you take a seat, hit the like button, please, and thank you. You bought the banana pudding. Okay, the nana pudding is in the house. What's up? What's up? You said you also bought nana pudding with some cookie crumbles on top. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Come on in. What's up, my St. Louis sister, Miss Glow? Come on in, y'all. Listen, we got a lot to discuss. I know that, people be having a hard time. People be having a hard time with some of the episodes because they feel like they don't give them enough juice. But baby, they be giving subliminals in these type of shows, and I love breaking them down. So y'all are going to be just as entertained as you are always, okay? Come on in, Clarksdale, Mississippi. My good friend Kevin is in the house. What's up? What's up? You said love the hat. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Welcome, 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 y'all. All right. Listen, y'all already know. At the very top of the chat, there is a poll. You are going to vote who you think wore the crown versus who's the clown. Whoever gets the least amount of votes becomes the clown by default. And this week, we are talking about Tisha and Destiny. Which one of them out of the two wears the crown, and which one is going to become the clown by default, okay? You said, on another note, green is your favorite color. I love this hat. So yes, I like green too. Green, purple, black. I got a lot of favorite colors. Anyway, we're going to get to it, but y'all going ahead, take that poll. Let me grab my notes. Please hit the like button on your way in, and, mind the moderators. They do an amazing job. Miss Clone, my sister's doing an amazing job. Okay, so listen, y'all know every blogger that comes on this platform, they have their perspective. I can only give you mine, okay? I don't even listen to anybody else before I do my reviews because I don't want to take what they say and put it in my head, okay? But we are going to run it back since I told y'all to take the poll. This is my St. Patrick's Day, hat. So listen, Tisha didn't get here all by herself in questioning Destiny's friendship or her loyalty, right? She really has a problem with Martell. We already know what Martell did. Destiny, when she tried to come to Destiny about it, Destiny said, yeah, me and Martell have been friends for a minute. The only reason why I know your ass is because of Martell. I'm not going to choose, right? I knew him first. You know what I'm saying? 2 tears in a bucket. You're just going to have to deal with it. But just so y'all know, Tisha is not wrong to dislike Martell. because Martell has been doing shit to her since the beginning of the show. And I shared this with y'all. A lot of people said I was out of my mind. That's not true, but it was true. Martell has always had some sort of energy against Tisha. At least that's what I saw. He makes her the target every time Marceau gets the best of him. Tisha becomes his target every single season since season 1. And if y'all have been paying attention, y'all would have saw that. But out of Martell's own mouth, both on the show and off the show, he has said multiple times that Tisha is going to be real hurt when she finds out how Marceau is cheating, that he can't wait for her to see what it feels like to have her family snatched from her. He said that a couple of times. What else did he say? He's also the one who influenced Marceau to cheat. So when we saw Tisha at that mountaintop and she told her brother-in-law, even though he's a hoe too, she told her brother-in-law, please keep an eye on Marceau and Martell, because I don't trust Martell. And Martell ends up saying at the family game day, I was the one who would get the bitches and you would come in behind me because you couldn't do it on your own. Puke. Puke. It is disgusting. You can believe Martell, good, because Martell told on himself. Whereas in the beginning, no one ever corrected that Martell was the one. Everybody thought that Martell was influenced by the Scotts. It wasn't until that game day that we found out that Martell was the leader of the Scotts. And even on the show, when Martell brought that wedding planner on, and all of a sudden everything changed. Remember, whatever her name was, Melnica? He brought Melnica on to embarrass Melody and make her say, oh, Melody was, she thought we was cheating back then, and I had to get my mama to finish the wedding. Are you serious? So all of that stuff that had came out after the fact, we was all sitting there like, oh my God, this is crazy shit. But that came out. The other thing, Martell bringing that woman with the nasty woman's disease onto that platform with Ariane. That was to get Tisha to leave Marceau. So he has been very active. He has been very active in trying to tear down that relationship. And whether people are okay with it or if they don't like it or not, that's some dirty fucking work. That is a lot to do. And I think it's weird for a man to go after a woman to that degree. We haven't seen anybody else do that other than Martell. I think it's weird. Okay. But anyway, what else? Those are the things that Tisha said that she had an issue with. And then, of course, Destiny saying that Nell Fletcher, going back and telling all the business that Nell Fletcher was telling after saying that Nell Fletcher was like her mother, right? So now we have Tisha sitting here saying, Destiny, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? You're the one bringing this stuff back to me. You're going to bring it back to me and still want me to look at you like we cool, when the truth of the matter is you might be in the mix, okay? Beware of the dog that brings you the bone. Everybody says that with everything else. So this may be one of those situations. Martell may have wanted Letitia for himself. Woo, I remember him complimented. Well, let me just say, Erica, welcome, Erica. First of all, child, what you got on them baked beans? You bring anything today? Erica, I actually said the other day when I was talking about Tisha and that tangerine outfit, I said, Tisha, I get why Martell might be like, God damn, look at Tisha every time he sees her, because Tisha done, upgraded, and now Martell, every time he sees her, he's the one who calls it out. Anyway, take the poll. The poll is your opinion. The poll is your opinion. Who wears a crown? Who wears a clown? All I'm doing is just jogging everybody's memory on how Tisha actually got to this position. So when she's sitting here talking to Destiny, after all of these things just happened, not years ago, but literally just last season, and it looks like they continued taping after that first half, it was still continued taping. So Tisha saying, bitch, you brought this information to me. You were the one who actually started that whole interaction between Marceau and Martell at the game day, right? Because even then we were like, ooh, now Destiny, you knew better. Not to mention, y'all remember when Destiny and Tisha had lunch and Martell pops up at that breakfast spot and Tisha had to grab her shit and get the hell up out of there? And she went back to the Whitehall house that we see in this episode. And she was telling Marceau, this is what happened. She was kind of shooken up. And he said, Tisha, the best thing you could have done is left when that shit went down. And then he said to her, never be in a room alone with Martell. You always walk out that room. Only if I'm there should you ever be there. Like, I just want y'all to just remember, Tisha's getting this conversation from her husband at home. Don't fuck with Destiny. You shouldn't trust her. And don't fuck with Martell. And if we're talking about marriage, this is how it works. Your husband has an influence on who you talk to, how you talk to him. And that should be the same for the wife. Who you talk to, who you're friends with, all of those things. So all of this stuff didn't just happen out of thin air. This is coming to her honest, right? Just saying. Okay, so now we're going to get into it because I just want y'all to know this is my perspective before I come through, okay? So Tisha, Destiny, Kimmy, they are picking up where they left off. They're at the dinner table. Tisha tells Destiny, you playing the victim, bitch, okay? Destiny says, you gaslighting me, which I don't know if she's necessarily gaslighting you, but she says you're gaslighting me, right? Kimmy asks Destiny if she thinks that Tisha's feelings are valid. Well, let's just slow your roll, girl. Even though she doesn't remember what she said, do you actually think her feelings are valid for what you brought to her about Nell Fletcher saying that Tisha should be worried about her marriage and that she should be worried about her husband and what's going on in that situation? And Destiny just looks at Destiny looks over at Kimmy, and she's sipping on her drink. And she's like, now what are you trying to do? Because Destiny's trying to figure out the angle before she answers the question. Kimmy again says, did you tell Nell Fletcher that she was wrong for the shit she said about Tisha? And Destiny goes, yeah, I told her she was wrong. I don't remember Destiny saying you're wrong. I remember her saying, damn, that's harsh, but I don't think she said it was wrong or even tried to correct her. I think she just left it the way it was. And I'm going to say this too, Destiny. Not that I'm not liking who you are this season, girl, because it's about time. Stand the F up, do what you got to do. But Destiny, you were the one who helped encourage the whole Marceau is cheating thing. We've seen this a couple of times with different people on the show. Different people say things. But when you were sitting with Martell and Martell said, I'm tired of him acting like I was the only one cheating. And you were like, yeah, that is true. That was you saying that Marceau was cheating too. And when y'all went out to meet Miss Wanda, and Wanda said, girl, pipe your ass down to her daughter while she, questioned Kimmy. And Kimmy was like, I don't believe that girl for a second. And you turned your head to the side while still on camera and did this. Like, girl, Mars, that is cheating, right? So you did help encourage some of these rumors, okay? You were on the other side of whatever Nell Fletcher said about Tisha. So no, you weren't necessarily in Tisha's corner. I'm just saying, okay? Anyway, after Destiny says, yeah, Kimmy says, listen, their friendship group lacks ownership and accountability, but she wants Destiny and Tisha to move on. Are y'all ready to move past this or not? Tisha says that she's over it and she's putting Destiny in the don't trust that hoe category. Okay, take the poll at the top of the chat. She said, I don't trust that hoe at this point. Tisha kind of smiles or smirks, and Destiny said, wow. Okay, there's truth in every joke, right? Tisha didn't take it back. She didn't say, bitch, I'm just playing. She went, okay, if that's what you want to think, it is what it is, okay? Tisha says that Marceau told her that a friend to everybody is a friend to nobody. And Destiny said, that's interesting coming from Marceau because he's cool, cordial with absolutely everybody. So why is he marking his territory with me? Why is he saying I shouldn't be the friend? I just want to say, I just want to toot my own horn. I told y'all when these husbands get involved and they tell you to drop that zero, they are going to win every time. It does not matter. Anyway, Tisha says to Destiny, we do have a good relationship, but you also seem to have good relationships with people that don't fuck with me. Okay? They don't like me. And Tisha said, at the end of the day, I'm a loyal person and I want to protect myself from any hurt that might be coming down the pike from you, Heffa, because we've been through some things and I can see the writing on the wall ahead of time. Destiny said, as am I. I'm also a loyal person. And I don't want to see you hurt either, Heffa, but I don't want to get hurt. Everything that you're saying, Tisha, applies to me as well. Now Tisha done pulled out her damn triangle handkerchief, child. And she starts talking about she don't want to mess up her makeup. And she's trying to catch them tears before they fall out of her eyes. And that's when Destiny gets up, she goes down and she hugs her. And she says, Tisha, you need to judge me by my actions. Judge me by my actions. I might say some shit, you know what I'm saying, to keep my paycheck, but judge me by my actions. And Tisha said, that's exactly how it's going to be from this point forward. Okay, because clearly the things that come out of your mouth isn't as solid as you want me to think, Destiny. So from this point forward, I'm going to judge you on how you move per your request. Okay. After that, Destiny tells the ladies that she is going to Detroit to meet 3 of her siblings. And she said that she's very nervous to do so, but that's where she's going. She lets them know what's up. And Tisha said, listen, girl, if you need us to be your support system, we down. Okay. Like 4 flat tires. We here for you. And then Tisha and Kimmy said that we can all go, including our spouses. We're going to take a road trip to support you on the trip. And Destiny just sat there smiling. Destiny could have been completely lying, okay? But she sat there smiling, and Tisha ends up saying some shit like, well, I'm going to catch a plane, but we're definitely going to go. It was pretty cool. Let's see. Hold on. Destination Sunrise. Thank you for the blessing, sis. This person said, the makeup scene between the Bells versus Love and Marriage Huntsville show shows a level of immaturity the ladies on Love and Marriage Huntsville have. We see them go at it later in the season. The Bells took a minute to get there too, right? I mean, because just on the reunion, Letitia said she was going to pop a hole in Latrice, and she also said she was going to give it to her the way she believed she got it on the show. She said, if we telling shit, then I'm going to tell things too. So we have to, this is why I'm here, okay? Because I do remember just a little bit of stuff, y'all. Just a little bit of stuff. But yeah, I appreciate you for sharing your thoughts, though. Okay, let's go. Now we are at Nell and Kayla. Nell is at her daycare. I forgot what it's called, Smiles and something. Anyway, she's at the daycare, and we got Miss Kayla, her daughter, sitting behind the front desk. And Nell says that she has temporarily put her daughter Kayla in the program director position. So Kayla is the acting program director. Now, y'all remember she told her husband in the last episode, I need a program director, I need a nurse, and I need a damn nanny. Okay? Help me with those 3 things. So right now they have her daughter as the acting program director. And from what it sounds like, they bumped her from the receptionist because she said that she was basically taking the phone calls, taking the payments, handling things there. And now she has put her in the role of making sure that they're squared away with the state, taking any complaints from parents and getting that together. You know what I'm saying? Also, as a program director, if she's really doing that job, she's handling the books, the day-to-day, calling people saying your account is delinquent and stuff like that. That's a lot of work. So that's a big bump up. But Nell Fletcher said, I want to put her in this role temporarily. Number one, to see if she can handle it. But number two, if I'm going to pass my legacy down to anybody, it's going to be Kayla. Kayla knows the ins and outs of this business. Maybe I'm sitting her in the seat a little too early, but you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing like real experience to test your hand at things. You know what I'm saying? So if she can do it, now's the time. But she did say she was acting. So that means if they need to pull her up out of that seat, they will. Okay. Anyway, after all of that, Nell says that Nell and Kayla try to talk up, catch up on the sons. So little Chris Jr. and Lance Fletcher. Anyway, in this scene, we find out that Lance Fletcher is not only irresponsible, but he's also ungrateful and a louse of a son and a damn brother. That boy believes in, living his life and being in the streets and doing whatever, even if it means putting the burden on his sister and his mama. Now, we knew he was doing it to his mama. I didn't realize he was doing it to his sister too. But apparently, Kayla doing her job at work, watching kids and doing whatever. And she said, he just called me a little bit ago to see if I was willing to take his daughter and play mama auntie later today while he can go out and have drinks and sow his damn wild oats, make baby number 5 or 6 or whatever number he's on. I don't even know. Okay. And Nell Fletcher said, that's one of my biggest damn problems with Lance. He doesn't understand that mama got a life too. You got a life too. I love my grandbaby. I would do anything for her. I want to keep her. But Lance will drop that child off, tell me he'll be back on, Friday morning at 8, and I don't see his ass until Sunday at 10 p.m. Like, I don't go out. Like, I don't like to be at the club. Like, I don't like to be at the club because we all know that she goes out. You know what I'm saying? So she said, that's my biggest problem with him. He makes promises to me that he doesn't keep, and he thinks that his shit is my responsibility. So she said, I don't like that about him. Now, you raised that boy. I don't know why y'all just don't cut him off, because that's the only way he's going to learn. But you're going to have to say no. You know what I'm saying? Because according to what you just said, Nell Fletcher, you were looking for a nanny. And you certainly don't need one for Chris. And you didn't say an adult nanny, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody for your father. So it gave us the impression it was for the kids. I don't know, but that's what it sounds like. Anyway, Nell Fletcher starts crying about being used and abused, child. And I do mean real tears. And Kayla, by her reaction, you can tell that this is something that Nell does at least twice a day at 6 o'clock, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. She is as steady. She's as steady as the hands on that damn timepiece, okay? But it's a part of her personality. Kayla tells her, listen, baby, you ain't got to apologize to me. We just alike, okay? I didn't fall far from the tree, so I know who you are. I know what you're about. And then Kayla tells her that she is proud of her mama, that she inspires her to get up and get it done every day because I see you do it. And Nell Fletcher says, thank you, baby. That means a lot to me. And then she also tells her she's doing a great job at the daycare. Okay, so we got to see a little love moment between mama and daughter. But yeah, Lance got to grow the fuck up. He does. You can't be going to court and fighting for kids that you don't stay home with. Okay, I mean, you got to love that your parents are around to help you, but they're there to help you. Even Kayla said, bitch, I don't even have kids yet. And that boy's going to burn you out before I have my own babies. Okay. What's going to happen when I need somebody? Anyway, Nell Fletcher started giggling, but she also was like, girl, don't bring them kids over here. Don't bring them kids over here unless you're walking out the door with them at the same time. Okay. Anyway, let's move on to Destiny and Trisha. Woo-hoo-hoo. Y'all, I forgot to take the poll with Tisha and Kimmy. I went to Nell Fletcher first. Hold on. Let's take the poll, child. I'll be forgetting, and it's hard to see the comments sometime when they come up too fast. Okay, hold on. Found a new way to do it, y'all. Okay, check that out. You can see the screen and you can see the full question. So if you're watching the replay and you want to take the poll, you can actually answer it in the chat, y'all. But I asked you guys, can I even see it? I asked you guys, who wears the crown versus who is the clown? And I said, whose side are you on regarding Tisha questioning Destiny's friendship? And 16% of y'all said that that you're on Tisha's side, while 85% of y'all said that you are on Destiny's side. You said that Tisha cannot control friendship, which is interesting. That's interesting that y'all said that, because y'all did not feel that way about Melody. Y'all did not feel that way about Melody. Y'all thought that everybody should dump Martell in order to maintain a friendship with Melody. But here you're saying that Destiny does not have to end her friendship with Martell in order to be friends with Tisha. And 16% of y'all said that Tisha's the one who's right because of Martell's history. But that's cool. Like I said, shit changed, child. People's feelings change about stuff. It is what it is. I still think it's funny though. Come on in, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit the like button, share the video, okay? Okay, so it's about to get even deeper than that. Now we are talking about Destiny and Trisha. Destiny goes and visits Trisha at the crib. Destiny visits Trisha at the crib. And you can tell right away that Trisha and Destiny have way more chemistry than Tisha and Trisha, because it just seemed real, like they just met each other. But Trisha and Destiny actually have a very more relaxed energy with each other. And y'all remember the last time when Trisha was at Tisha's house, Tisha told Trisha, I don't trust Destiny as far as I can fucking see her, right? That whole entire event pissed me off. You said, I rock with Tisha over Destiny. Baby, I love seeing how y'all vote. That's why I make y'all vote. Okay? Anyway, when Destiny sits down with Trisha, she actually unloads about Tisha. So they're both using Trisha as a sounding board for each other. But Destiny said, I just came back from a meeting, Taco Tuesday, and she said both Tisha and Kimmy were questioning me up, down, all around about the winery, about my friendship, about loyalty, and telling me how I made Tisha feel. And she said, when I asked her, what the hell did I say? The girl couldn't remember one syllable, and yet she wants to hold my feet to the fire. She said, I don't have time for that shit. Okay, this is all the stuff that Destiny's saying to Trisha. Then she said, and then to top it all off, after we hug it out for a second, but she's still telling me, that she can't trust that hoe. And then also telling me that Marceau told her, I'm a friend to everybody, and that means I'm a friend to nobody. So Destiny's saying, I know I'm being questioned by them. I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen next, but I do know that now they're coming with me on a trip to Detroit to see my mama and my half siblings, right? And Trisha looked at her like she was crazy. She said, well, damn, did you invite them or did they invite themselves? And Destiny said, come to think about it, I don't remember asking them to come with me. I think they did invite themselves. Yes, girl, they did. They did invite themselves. That is hilarious. In confessional, Trisha said that she's having a hard time seeing Tisha and Kimmy the way Destiny describes them. She said, I ain't never experienced that with them, and I can't even conjure up the image in my mind. She said, Tisha is really, really nice. And Kimmy, I mean, she cool too. She'll however you to death, but that's it. She said, I don't see what Destiny sees in them. Woo. I was waiting to see who would say, oh my goodness. You said, oh damn, did they invite themselves just to get back to Michigan? They did invite themselves. They said, we're going to go to be a support system for you. So they did invite themselves. Anyway, after that, Destiny says that or excuse me, after they invited themselves, Trisha ends up telling Destiny about what her and Ken are going through. She said they are on rocky road yet again. They are rocky yet again. And she said it's been like that for the last 6 to 7 months. So basically, since Marquez had came on the show, that's how long Trish and Ken have been going through it. And Destiny says, listen, this is what Destiny says in confessional. Destiny said, listen, Trisha can tell me that Kim moved out at 8 a.m. on a Tuesday, and then on Wednesday at 7 a.m., she'll been and told me that they were engaged and vacationing on the south of France. Okay, she said, I have learned to stay the fuck out of it. I listen to her say it. It goes in one ear and out the other, because I don't have the mental capacity to go through the emotional gymnastics that Ken and Trisha go through. Not my business. I'll believe whatever she tells me at the time. That is exactly how Destiny said it. And I was sitting there like, ooh, Destiny is really being a different person. She almost won. She almost won Scene Snatcher yet again, but I didn't give it to her. But when she said that shit, she said, I don't care. I listen to her talk, but I don't care. I don't ask her any questions about it because it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean shit. Trish and Ken will do whatever Trish and Ken wants to do. Okay? Trisha said that she's in therapy and that she is learning to listen more. She said therapy has been good to her. She's learning to listen more. She also said that she's trying not to be such an asshole when she is engaging with people, because she is saying herself, I am a self-proclaimed asshole. People can only get so far, say so much, but if I interpret that to be something toward me, I'm a pop before they even start, okay? So that's what she said. She also said that she has learned to apologize. And then in telling Destiny this, she said something went down, perhaps between her and Ken. And she said, it took me all day to get there, but I did apologize. And she struggled to tell Destiny that she apologized even in the scene. She was like, yeah, I didn't want to do it. And I'm not even making it up. She said it just like that. I didn't want to do it. And Destiny went, okay, like, girl, what's wrong with you? But okay, fine, cool, no problem, okay? Destiny tells Trisha, actually Trisha says that Ken is going to go to therapy with her, and she's hoping that the two of them can get a new start. And this is where Destiny does interfere. She said, wait a minute, a new start? You want to leave everything that's going on with you and Ken in the past. Close the door. Okay. No new starts there. Or she didn't say new start. She said that she wanted to get back on track. Maybe we can start being the way we were again. And Destiny said, you don't want to be the way you were again, bitch. Okay. What you were before was a bunch of lies. Your whole foundation is built on lies and distrust. So if you and Ken are going to move forward for real, go on ahead and close the door to the past and start working on the new things. Not to mention the fact that your husband, because you're not divorced yet, your husband is all up and through that relationship, Trisha. You're not divorced yet. And until the ink is dry, you got a problem, sis. So if you go in with both of your eyes open and stop trying to get what you had before. Okay. So Destiny dropped some tea on that. Both of them, Destiny ended up dropping some tea on that. And Trisha actually agrees. Trisha actually agrees with Destiny when she said, you're not divorced. You're still married. And that man, your husband, affects every bit of your decision making. Trisha said, I agree. Hold on to that, because something different is going to happen later in the episode. Okay. But in this part, Trisha says, I agree. Okay. Moving on. Let's talk about Tisha and Marcel. Those two right there. Marcel, oh my goodness, sir. Marcel had some shit to say. First, let's start with the fact that they are at a property that is on, I guess, a street called Whitehall, right? And Marcel has been working on this property for a little bit. I don't know how many years, but we've seen him working on it on the show. Anyway, Tisha has a team of agents and brokers inside the home. And Marcel saying, baby, this is almost finished. I just got to lay the floor, put down the trim, and paint the walls, which in Marcel's universe is probably going to be another 5 to 10 years. Another 5 to 10 years before he fixes it, right? But he said, baby, we almost done. So Tisha bringing this team to come in, and then basically, get the word out. I got a property coming up on Whitehall for anybody that might be looking for something, right? You want to start that buzz early. So he's real proud of Tisha for bringing in the team of brokers and agents who might be able to get this property turned over real quick. He wants to see what that looks like, okay? Anyway, Tisha said that it's always been her dream to work alongside Marceau in this capacity. This is how she always saw it. Marceau building things, building the homes, and Tisha selling it. She said this is a great partnership. And Marceau said that this is definitely a new chapter for them because y'all know before, Marceau was very much telling Tisha to keep her ass home. Stay home, go home, build an office. Why, Tisha? You don't really work, Tisha. You just come up here to fuck with me, Tisha. So Marcel is finally saying, this is a new chapter for us, and I'm going to have to see what this looks like, right? Tisha's like, well, if you do your part and I do my part, we shouldn't have any issues. And Marcel looked at her and went, right. But that right wasn't a confirmation of great things to come. That right was more a hesitation, like it sounds good, but that's not how you and I are probably going to work it out because you want to be in charge of everything and I want to be in charge of everything. So those type of personalities don't work good together. And he knows this. He's just not as, enthusiastic about it as Tisha is. Tisha's acting like this is it. This is what I dreamed about. And Marcel said, this might be the thing that actually gets us to the divorce line, right? I read between the lines, baby. I know. Anyway, after the brokers and the agents leave, that gives Tisha and Marceau a little one-on-one time. And yes, whoever the cameraman is for Tisha, I told y'all before, he loves to make sure he gets Tisha from every angle, the back, the side, the front, the zoom down scene. They went down on Tisha. I didn't even realize Tisha had on fake freckles. Okay, that's how much they zoomed in on Tisha. Tisha had fake freckles for her makeup, which looked cute. Tisha was just cute in her black and white. But yeah, that cameraman said, we're about to do a long lens for you, baby, okay? Let's show them legs off. Let's show off them legs. And Marceau, you stand as far away from her as possible. I don't even damn near want you in the shot, okay? So Marceau and Tisha literally are this far away from each other while they're talking, not leaning up against a countertop, but standing in an empty space, like a foot away from each other. It was wild. That's the cameraman. That's the cameraman that's making them do that. Okay, Marceau better be worried. Tisha already got a love interest. Okay, cameraman number 4. He cannot take his eyes off of Tisha. Anyway, after all of that, Tisha says that Kimmy, her sister-in-law, had the nerve to question her about not being considered to sell the Whitehall project. Okay, she said, "What? You'll never guess what she did." And this perks Marceau up. Marceau had the smile on his face, like you can tell that there is some healthy competition between Marceau and his brother, and really Marceau and Kimmy, because I think those are probably, they have the stronger mindset, right? He knows he can beat the hell out of Maurice. But Marceau and Kimmy, he enjoys that. So when he heard that, he was like, really? Kimmy wants to put her toe in what we got going on? And Tisha said, yeah. Now, I told Kimmy a long time ago that I wanted this to be a family business. I had my real estate license. I told her to go get her broker's license. But Kimmy told me adamantly that she didn't want her broker's license. She said, hell no. Okay. And then come to find out later on the back end that not only did Kimmy go get her broker's license in private, she opened up a whole other business and didn't ask us shit about it. Didn't say, girl, do you want to come in? Or how do y'all feel about being a family business? She didn't ask us. She did ask Micah though, but she didn't ask Tisha. And she said that gave me the impression right up front that bitch did not want to work with me or have anything to do with me. And Marceau stood there and went, that's exactly the impression you were supposed to get, okay? Marceau and Tisha in confessional said, in particular Marceau, Kimmy likes to move in silence. She don't talk to us about her businesses, period. And we've learned not to fucking ask her, because the truth of the matter is, and we've heard this before, y'all remember when Tisha said, don't tell your brother anything? Was that Tisha? Because Kimmy and Maurice will try to copy off of us. Or was that Kimmy? One of them, I think it was Kimmy, who said, don't tell them anything because they'll try to copy off of us. Anyway, there's a healthy competition between the two of them. Marceau ends up just saying, she likes to move in silence. We don't know anything that Kimmy has going on, okay? Her business is not our business. We find out, like everybody else on social media, what she got going on. And because of it, let's just stay separate, okay? I thought that was interesting. Anyway, then they end up talking about Destiny, okay? Tisha tells Marceau that she lightweight got into it with Destiny. And Destiny tried to pull some of the same bullshit that Nell Fletcher pulled, talking about her and Kimmy were ganging up on her. And she said, I'm tired of this shit. I don't even know where it comes from. She's the bad guy here, not me. Then Tisha tells Marceau that she told Destiny to her face that I put her in the don't trust that hoe box and I'm not taking her out, okay? Again, this makes Marceau smile. He said, you told her that to her face? She said, hell yeah, to her face. Marceau said, gotcha. Marceau is loving this, okay? He does not want Tisha and Destiny to be friends. And he already drew that line in the sand. He was the one who started it. He planted the seed and he's watching it grow, okay? He's watching it grow. But this tickles Marceau. And Marceau then says to Tisha, listen, are you conflicted about this friendship or nah? Okay? I want to know where you really, truly stand. Tisha said, I am a little conflicted. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because I do like her. I love her as a friend, but I am conflicted about what is going on. And Marceau said, you're 43 years old. You're 43 years old and you need to figure this shit out for yourself. Okay? So I'm now Marceau, who has been driving this train, okay? He's the conductor. Now he said, this is for you to decide. This is for you to decide. You're 43 years old. I'm not going to get involved. If that's what you want, if you want to be friends, then I'm going to let you do it. Tisha, that's not how he started this. That's not how he started this. But then he also says, just to, we in the same boat here. He says, Maurice likes to pull that shit with Martell. You should be friends with him and you should forgive him. And he said, I don't need to see nothing else. I don't trust that hoe either. Martell is in the I don't trust that hoe category, Tisha. And going ahead and put Destiny in it, lock her up, throw away the fucking key. We can both just end our relationships with these people, right? He said, because I'm never going back. In confessional, Tisha said, listen, marriage and friendships are hard. They are very similar like this. You got to put in some work. You got to trust people. You'll have some highs and you have some lows. And Marceau said, don't confuse marriage and friendship. They're not the same. Because when a friendship ends, it just ends. Goodbye to you. When a marriage ends, you have to split assets. Okay, that's the biggest difference. So no, they're not the same for me. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. Anyway, Tisha said, well, it's interesting that you should say all of this because Destiny's going to meet up with her half siblings, okay? And Marcel's like, and what the fuck you care about that for? And she said, because we're going to go too. And he went, wait a minute, Tisha. She went, what? Why are you looking at me like that? He said, because why are you telling me that you don't trust that hoe, but you're going to go all the way to Detroit with her? For what? She went, we're both going. You don't want to go? He went, did you already commit to this shit? She said, kinda. You don't want to go? He said, would you ever go to find your real mother? Is that what you're doing? Are we going to find your real mother? And Tisha said, I know who my real mother is. Why would I go find my real mother? Marcel makes a face like, bitch, then no. Okay. And first off, is Wanda your real mother? Is Wanda your real mother? Marcel, that was actually very hilarious. That was funny. But yes, he told Tisha, unless we're going to find your real mama, baby, I don't want to go find Destiny's real mama. I don't want to see them siblings. I don't want to know anything else about Destiny. Why are we getting deeper into the Destiny hole when you just said you don't trust her? You're getting me confused here. You don't put yourself more in the mix of a bitch you don't trust. All true facts. All true facts, Marcel. But yeah, he told Tisha, you're going to have to figure this shit out for yourself because you're going to have to. I can't help you anymore. I can't help you anymore. We all know that Marcel's going to stay in Tisha's ear because that's what he does. Okay. What? That's why Stormy could call Marcel a bitch. What? Right in front of Letitia's face, sitting right there because who? Welcome. I'm happy you guys are here. I'm happy you guys are here. Yes. Anyway, I'm just going to put it up here. Marcel stole the scene when he asked Tisha, are we going to find your real mother? Are we going to find your real mother? Because listen, I don't even know why you want to take on them problems. Okay. I don't want to take on the problem. Why would you want to take on the problem? If we ain't going to find the real Wanda, then we ain't going to find Destiny's goddamn mama. Okay. Period. Come on in. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I appreciate y'all. And that is on that. Okay. Now, while all this is happening with Marceau and Tisha, Martell wasn't even in the scene. Kimmy and Maurice are having their own conversation. And this was an interesting conversation. Okay. I got my mojito, my blackberry mojito with mezcal in it. It is absolutely delicious. Come on in, come on in. But Kimmy ends up catching Maurice up on what happened between Tisha and Destiny, right? And Kimmy said that Destiny was defensive from the jump. Not a lie. Soon as Destiny walked in, she had a look on her face and she was giving energy like, don't fuck with me. I'm not in the mood, right? So she said she was defensive right up front. Kimmy also said that a lot of what's happening between Destiny and Tisha is because of what Nell Fletcher said. And because of that, because Destiny was the person to bring Tisha the bone, and then also say, I'm still cool with Nell Fletcher, she said she's questioning Destiny's loyalty for that. So Destiny doesn't see her part in it, right? Then Kimmy said, even though Tisha's here, Tisha never really questions or tells people to pick a side. I don't think she's that kind of person. I'm going to give you the clown just for saying that, heifer. Oh my goodness, Kimmy, what is going on? Your first season, you and Tisha literally drew the line in the sand with each other. Maybe that was the second season. Everybody remembers the reunion, first season reunion. Okay. Now that the secret is out the bag, we know what the fuck was going on the reunion stage. They were trying to keep Tisha from saying the secret. Cool. Whatever the secret was with Melody and Martell. That was it. They stopped Tisha from saying it. Marceau got on Tisha's ass so bad. Don't fucking do it. You and me are going to have a problem if you say this, Tisha, right? That was literally Tisha and Marceau's fight the entire time because Marceau said he didn't want her to open up her fucking mouth. But we also saw Kimmy do the same thing. Tisha, stop. And then when they had their one-on-one in second season, Kimmy says to Tisha, can't you see she's hurting? Don't do stuff like that, Tisha. You can be the bigger person here. Tisha tells Kimmy, you're my sister-in-law, and you need to be on my motherfucking side. That's how it should be. And if you can't, then you and me are done. That is how it happened. And that went on season after season until about fourth or fifth, because everybody was trying to tell Tisha to pipe her ass down, period. Even Kiki at that, I think it was Tisha's graduation, she rolled up on Kimmy, Kiki and Tisha's brother. What's Tisha's brother name? T-Ray, TT, something with the T. They rolled up on Kimmy and they said, I heard you got a problem with my sister, right? Even and Kiki, what's up? What's going on between you and with you and Tisha, my cousin? And she was like, what? She was like, why wasn't you on her side at the reunion? And she said, what did you want me to say, Kiki? Remember that? Kimmy got so hot, her head started rolling, and Kiki laughed at her and went, yeah, I expected you to be on her side. That all happened. You said Spoo Man, T-Man. That all happened for season after season. So anyway, T-Man, thank y'all. Anyway, I just remember that. But Kimmy says in the scene, Tisha doesn't ask those questions. Yes, she does ask those questions. Whether she's right or wrong, she absolutely fucking asked you. And she pretty much asked everybody after that, since season 1, to pick a side. That was how it played out. That is how it played out, including her husband. Well, now that we can all recall some of this shit, like when Marcel was in that kitchen and Melody apologized and Tisha said, I told him I didn't accept your apology. He said, Tisha, do you want this fucking shit to continue? And he got so hot with her that he cussed her ass out in that kitchen scene. And tears, hot tears, not just tears, baby, hot tears. You can see the steam coming off of her cheeks, rolled down that girl's face like an ocean. And Marceau said, I can't fuck with you. If you keep this shit going, I'm going to need you to cut it out. We all remember those scenes. We all remember them. Now, I'm not saying I get it. I get what was going down now. Thank y'all for busting it out and setting everybody free, because everybody's been set free. But it certainly did happen. It certainly did happen. And there might be people who agree with Tisha. There might be people that agree with Kimmy. But Kimmy, for a very long time, got an ass whooping to the point where she said, everybody in my family is fucking with me. Every one of the Scotts, to the point of where she said, I'm headed to divorce. I'm headed to divorce, which is why it might make things feel a little funky when Melody said she's not my friend, right? Because she's probably thinking, well, bitch, I did take a bullet for you, right? But there was a whole lot of stuff that went down that people should be able to put together now. Anyway, Kimmy says in confessional, despite her not thinking that Tisha's asking Destiny not to be friends with Nell Fletcher, she's okay with it if that's what she is asking, because fuck Nell Fletcher. That's what Kimmy says in confessional. On that, I can agree with. Period. Okay? And then, if that wasn't enough, because she did say Nell needs to shake a bone and get the hell on, Kimmy said, we kind of squared things away. And right now, we're going to go with Destiny to Detroit to support her meeting her mother and her other siblings. And Maurice like, we are? She said, yeah, all of us. Scout 1.0 and 2.0, we all going. And he said, okay, you know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying? Anyway, welcome y'all. Hit the like button, share the video. Hit the like button, share the video. Now we are moving on to Sal, Marcel, Maurice, and Micah, the younger brother. I should have given Maurice the clown, and he does win the clown by default too. Maurice is a clown times a million. They are over at their brother Micah's house, okay? And Maurice is trying to school Micah, I guess, on taking the bar, because Micah's also in law school, and I guess he's going to take the bar in a few months or a month or so. Anyway, blah blah blah. It's a, you know, This is what we're doing scene. When Marcel arrives, Maurice tells his brothers that Kimmy wants him to quit his job as a lawyer and become a carpenter again because she's not attracted to him as a lawyer, right? Micah said, bro, you can't be fucking serious, right? How dumb are you? Micah said, what? He said, you can't be serious. Do you really think she's telling you to quit your career over sexiness? Is that what you're saying to me? That you don't think she's asking you for quality time? She's not dumb. This is literally what his younger brother is saying. She's not that dumb, bro. I know she didn't tell you that, bro. Are you serious right now? Marie says, yes, I'm serious. Marceau is cracking the fuck up. He is laughing his ass off. And then Marceau says, Micah, no. Don't try to talk sense into this man. Kimmy absolutely said that. Now, Marceau is basically picking on Maurice and saying, let him believe that shit, okay? If he wants to think with his little brain, let his little brain take the lead, because there got to be something wrong with Maurice, right? So he says, he wants to see, listen, Kimmy wants to see him with a piece of plywood. She wants to see him sweaty and dirty, you know what I'm saying, with a hammer and a drill. So he's playing into Maurice's insecurity. And Maurice doesn't even see it, right? He doesn't see it. He said, thank you. That's what she wants. Anyway, Marceau said, if I was you, I would give her the best of both worlds. I would come in with my suit on. I'd loosen my tie. I'd pull my sleeves up, grab the hammer and be like, which one you want? You know what I'm saying? Go tap a nail in your suit. Maybe that's what she needs to see. So again, Marceau is playing with this man's mind. She's joking. He's joking all the way. But Maurice cannot catch it for a second, right? Anyway, hold on, child. After that, Micah says, and in a very disappointed way, like, who raised you? You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you're having conversations with people you love and that you think you know well, and they'll say some shit that shocks your mind to the point of where you're just like, I don't even know who you are. Like, you're my big brother. You're the person I aspire to. Like, I wanted to be a lawyer like you. And this is the dumb shit you're saying on TV, right? Exactly, Micah. Exactly. Anyway, Micah said, I really can't believe that you're saying this about Kimmy. I really can't. She's your wife. She's the person you talk to every day. This is shocking to me, is what his younger brother says. And he said, if I was you, I would just talk to her more. That's what she's asking you for you to talk to her more, for you to get in her spirit. Marie says that's bullshit. I don't know why both of y'all are out of order. But since I have to prove this shit to y'all, Marie says that he's going to do it their way. I'm going to talk to her more, just like you ask. I'm going to put on a suit. I'm going to pick up that hammer, even though that's so far removed from my life that I can never see myself picking up a hammer again, not even to build IKEA furniture. I don't want to touch any kind of tool, but I'll do it for y'all. And I'm going to tape the conversation so that y'all can hear it. That's what he said. He's going to secretly tape his wife and bring it back to his brothers so that he can prove himself right. And Marceau nodded his head like, that's what I want. I want you to live your life so bad that you do some dumb shit like that. Okay. Anyway, after they say that, I think Micah makes some joke like, instead of filming a man, the real test that she actually likes what we're telling you would be if she gives you a BJ, okay? If you're looking for her to be more active with you and she's actually more active with you, that's the test. That's going to be how you know you can win, right? And they all start laughing. I guess that's their little nasty joke. Who knows? Simply doing some chores around the house would probably suffice. Yeah, when a woman who's going through cancer tells you, could you please have your son wash dishes? I have to come downstairs and there's so many damn dishes on the countertop that we got gnats in the house. When she tells you, can you at the very minimum have him wash dishes, and you say no because you didn't raise him to wash dishes, that tells us everything we need to know about Maurice. Maurice didn't even get a damn maid to come into the house 3 times a week. He expected Kimmy to continue doing everything she was doing before. That's not how I raised him. You raised your son to do that, Jalen, but he will never touch a dish in my house. I think we all understand where Maurice is coming from, right? He is a bastard. He is horrible. He is horrible. I don't know how many of them there are, but I don't even see Marceau doing that. I think Tisha's already said that Marceau's the better cook. So we know that Marceau cooks in his house. He has to wash dishes, even though he tried to play that peanut butter shit, which was probably true. But I still think that he has more action in his house than Maurice does in his, just based on how he raises kids. Okay. Anyway, that's how it ends. No, my bad. Marceau ends up telling his brother that Tisha and Destiny are on the outs, and that Tisha is about to take this emotionally deep ass, the tides that bind friendship trip with Destiny, even though she says she can't trust the bitch. And he said, that's the thing that I don't understand about women. They will say they can't trust something, and then all of a sudden they'll put themselves into this real deep situation. And he said, I guess we're all going. So we know that they're all going to Detroit. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We can't be mad at any of them, can we? I can't. I've been saying that for a minute. Don't be mad at anybody. That is their journey. That's the one that God gave them. It's nobody's fault. You know why? Because every single one of them could have walked, jumped, stepped, flew, however you want to put it, out of there. Period. Nothing was tying them to any one of those spaces. They stayed because they loved them. They stayed because they hoped they would change. That's why. But it applies to everybody. Everybody, which is why you stay out of married people's business. Everybody stays out of married people's business, okay? All right. Now we are with Trisha and Ken. Holy shit. Trisha and Ken. I used to root for y'all because I honestly thought that, that there was some trauma there and that you just needed to get over the hump, Trisha. But y'all don't like each other. I'm not sure how y'all stayed together this long. The things y'all said in 5 minutes of therapy was absolutely horrible. What the fuck y'all got going on in common? It can't be lifting weights. It can't be lifting weights. Yikes. So these two head over to Dr. Francis, okay? That man already started off the episode white beard, or I should say gray hair, gray beard, gray hair. When he finished in them 5 minutes, his damn hair turned white. He had white hair, white beard. Them people sent him over the edge, okay? Trisha says in her confessional before they even walk into the door, she said, Dr. Francis' office is the last step for her and Ken. If they can't work the shit out here, it's never going to work. And they're going to have to take their walking papers together. Okay. This is the end of their shit, right? Cool. Thank you for saying it out loud. Thank you for starting the scene like this, because that's exactly what needed to happen. Anyway, Trisha comes into the room. Trisha's so happy, she's bouncing. She sits on the couch. She's doing one of these numbers. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm so happy to be here. I'm looking for my next set of tools. I've been putting into place everything that you told me to do. Hell, I got so involved in the tools. I apologized to Ken the other day. I'm just happy to be here, okay? Dr. Francis is like, cool, I love this. Tell me what's going on that's making you so happy. Introduce me to your friend. This is Kenneth Lee, aka Dark Skin Ken. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that I hang out with every once in a while. He's the one that I've been going out with since I left my husband. Then Trisha starts saying things like, she's eager to share in this moment. I'm real eager to talk to you. I've been thinking about it all week, and I realize now that I've created a safe space for myself. This is what she's saying in front of Ken. I realize now that I've created a safe space for myself. And, I put myself in this box so that I can protect others. But what I realize now is that I'm not protecting anybody else. I'm actually hurting the people around me who's trying to get in. Now, while she's saying this, Ken has his head down. He's like holding, in between his eyes. He's rubbing his eyes like, who is this person? You can tell that he's like, I knew I was coming here. I just didn't know I was coming here for this shit. What does she mean? She protected herself from everybody else to not put her shit on her. You hurt us every day. This is Ken's energy without even speaking. And he's sitting right beside her. And she's not reading his energy. She's not reading his energy. She's talking like, baby, I'm here. Dr. Francis is about to give me the tools. Dr. Francis is about to give me the tools, baby. Okay? And Dr. Francis, y'all know he don't miss shit. He looking at Ken. He looking at Trisha. He looking back at Ken like, what are you pressing your eyes for? Anyway, Dr. Francis says, Kenny, do me a favor. Sit over here. I want y'all two on separate couches because I can already tell you two are on two different wavelengths. And since she brought your ass here, we're about to figure this out, okay? Anyway, he asked Ken, do you feel that way? Do you feel that Trisha puts herself in a safe place so that she can protect you? Ken said, I don't feel protected. I don't feel protected. And I mean, if you want to call it a safe space, cool. But I don't see it that way. Okay. Trisha says, well, in the beginning, when he and I was dating, I would try to come out of my box and then something would happen that would remind me of something and I'd go back inside. And then she also says that in the beginning, Ken used to accuse her of shit. I guess she was so secretive that he was like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Are you with another man? Are you with a woman? What are you doing? I don't know. Because you carry yourself in a way where if we're in a relationship, this isn't normal. Your behavior isn't normal. Ken says that he's not willing to take the disrespect anymore. He said, I'm here because I'm not willing to take the disrespect with Tisha with Trisha anymore. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been months already and I got to protect myself. I got to protect myself from this. He says that I am in love with her. I love her. But Trisha has this thing that she does where she pretends like she is tough as nails and nothing gets to her. And it's a lie. It's not even a facade. It's a whole ass lie. Okay. He said she pretends like she don't have any feelings around anything. Her ex-husband, whatever happened in her past, she acts like that shit, like it doesn't penetrate her. Like she doesn't operate. Every decision and action she makes isn't coming from that hurt space. And I'm tired of it. Let me just say to y'all, Ken had all the language for this scene. Trisha was stumbling over stuff. She was blaming, but she didn't have the language for why she was doing things. And Ken did. And that actually shocked me. Not sure why. Maybe because he's a man and he's a muscle ass man. So I just didn't expect him to have that much of a gauge on his feelings and also what he saw from her. So when he was saying that shit, I was like, oh, okay. Wow. That impressed me. He said she can pretend like the shit doesn't bother her. It does bother her. And not only does it bother her, it affects every decision she makes. She's up, she's down, she's hot, she's cold. She's popping the fuck off every a minute. It's a roller coaster ride with her. And she doesn't understand that the reason she is the way she is because of her trauma. He says this out loud to Dr. Francis. And Dr. Francis is impressed. He goes, hey, all right. You agree with that, Trisha? You think you might have some trauma that affects your decision making? And Trisha said, I agree. I agree. Similar to what she said to Destiny. I agree that my husband might have some interference in the decision making. And I do want to say, I had said last episode or my last review that the divorce had already happened, and Ken should have said that the divorce already happened instead of saying that he got his own apartment and he didn't get kicked out the house. That was inaccurate. Apparently, the divorce is still on. But he says this out loud, right? Trisha agrees, and then when Dr. Francis summarizes what Ken said and goes over to that eraser board with his magic marker child, because he was about to draw some circles and some lines like it was a football game. So you have a bunch of problems because of your trauma. He put trauma in the middle, child. He was about to get it all connected. And Trisha said, no, that's not true. That's not true. And Dr. Francis stops like, what? He said, you just said it was true. You just said it was true. Now it's not true. She said, I don't think about that guy. I don't have any feelings about that guy. Now Ken is looking at her like, you do have feelings about him. He literally dictates your every move, how you eat, how you sleep, what you drink, when you shit. He's always present. He's always there. No, he's there with you. You bring it up. You bring it up. You bring it. I don't think about him. I don't talk about him. And Dr. Francis is like, what is happening? So now he's watching these two go back at it, and they're going at it hot. Okay. Trisha denies it all the way around. I don't know what the fuck you're giving me this heat for. I don't talk about him. You talk about him. I don't. Ken said, Trisha, we ain't talked to each other in 3 fucking months. Okay? I'm here now. I'd love to see a happy ending, but we ain't talked to each other in 3 months. This relationship is done for a minute. And Trisha's eyes opened as big as saucers when he said, we haven't talked for 3 months. Not only did her eyes open big, she looks at the camera crew or whoever production is here, like, oh my God, what? You know what I'm saying? She wanted something to happen, and they're like, bitch, keep filming. You here. We ain't taking shit off the table. Let's go. Let's go, right? Trisha says, I think because I'm quiet, that makes me the bad guy. I let things happen to me, or things happen instead of saying things, and it makes me the bad guy. Dr. Francis laid Trisha's ass out so tough. Dr. Francis said, well, Trish, maybe what Ken's saying isn't a lie, because you came into this office happy as a fucking lark, bouncing, smiling. I couldn't wipe the smile off your face. When I asked you point blank, are you okay? Tell me what's going on. You said everything was fine. And it ain't even been 4 minutes. And the two of you are as hot as fish grease. So you lied to me. You lied to me. Okay? Trisha said that Ken is the problem. Ken accuses her of all kinds of shit. In the beginning, he would accuse her of having a man in the bed when she was at the gym. When she says this, Ken screams out, what the fuck? He goes, I'm so sorry. Like, he's apologizing to Jesus. And then he looks over at the production team like, I don't know if I can sit through this shit. This is no. I ain't never said no shit like that to you. You a lie. He starts screaming that to her. And Trisha's like, I got the receipts. I can show you the receipts. And Ken said, you can't show no damn receipts. Trisha, you are a compulsive liar. And that's how it ends. That was crazy. I'm actually shocked I could keep up. But when Dr. Francis said, "Bitch, you just lied to me. You told me everything was fine." And then you ain't been here for 2 minutes, Trisha, and y'all are hot as fish grease. You ain't been there in 3 months. What's going on? And y'all know how Dr. Francis has that smile with his teeth. When he smiles with his teeth, like, and he just stares at you. I was like, oh Lord, y'all gonna kill Dr. Francis. He wasn't expecting this. But anyway, bravo to bringing Dr. Francis back. He really should have had also the scene snatcher. Just like he's scene snatched with Tisha and Marcel, he's scene snatched with Trisha and Ken. But I liked it. Anyway, what you say, Ken laid it out. What was her rebuttal? That's where the scene ends. We're gonna see what happens next week, child. We're gonna see what happens next week. Outside of that, I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna give this episode a solid, just because y'all know I can deep dive into shit a little differently than others, because sometimes people want you to just get it out. I'm telling you, the walk around conversations. I'm gonna give this episode a solid 9. Okay, a solid 9. I liked it. I liked it, and I do think that there's a lot of people in relationships with people for whatever the reasons are. They want their bills paid. I don't know, that they're rich. They take whatever. Sometimes those relationships aren't worth it. You just got to get the hell out of it. I like the fact that Trisha started the scene saying, if this doesn't work, it's not going to work. And I'm okay with cutting our losses. And I like the fact that we know it's not going to work. We know it's not going to work. We kept trying to ask what is going on with Trisha and Ken. In that moment, if you have this man, he froze up. I don't know if people are paying attention, but when he looked at Trisha, when she said, you were asking me if I had men in the bed, and he like jumped, like, what the fuck? And he literally looks up at the sky, not at Dr. Francis. I don't know who was up there, but he looked up at the sky. I'm sorry for cussing. I said, no, you didn't. Anyway, you said, leave Ken and take your money with you, child. You're tired of looking at who? Tisha and Maurice swap spouses. Oh, Tisha and Maurice, you said swap spouses. No, Tisha can't lay on her back for Maurice like that, child. Nobody can. Maurice just needs to go to what's that the Bunny Ranch or whatever they call that shit in Vegas. Maurice just needs to go to the Bunny Ranch and live out the rest of his days. That's what it sounds like. Nobody can satisfy Maurice. Maurice needs a rotation of women that comes in and goes out. That's it. That's it. Okay. You said you give it a solid 7. Okay. That's not too bad. Maurice needs a boss that he got with what? He needs a boss, and he got that with Kimmy. He's lazy as hell. You know what? He might have ED. You know, sometimes people be doing too much, and then life gives you those lemons you've been looking for. You know what I'm saying? You gotta slow your roll sometime and count your blessings and take inventory. He doesn't do that. He wants what he wants when he wants it. And that type of gluttony, that type of shit, that's never good for anybody. And even though it has been taught all of our lives as children in the Bible, don't eat too much of that, don't have too much of that, don't do too much of that. You know what I'm saying? Even though people tell you that all the time, sometimes you get to be an adult like Maurice, and you want that refrigerator to stay unlocked. So they're not lying about the whole refrigerator analogy, but yeah, he don't know. He doesn't know, and he won't know until it gets taken from him, and not because of Kimmy, because the universe says so. Because the universe says so. He's never going to Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis will run his ass up out of there. Maurice would never see Dr. Francis. Marceau didn't like Dr. Francis too much because, you know, Dr. Francis was talking sense with Marceau. But I do like that they brought Dr. Francis back on. And yeah, I want to see how it ends with Trisha and Ken, but it looks like they're donezo. You guys are silly. Anyways, that is it, you guys. That is it. That is all. I thank you guys so very much for coming over and hanging out with me today. It always means a lot to me. I'm always humbled by everybody who comes to listen a little old me. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button, share the video, become a subscriber if you are not already. I do want to thank my sister and Kevin, because I saw you earlier, Kevin, for joining the chat as moderators. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I also want to thank Destination Sunrise for blessing the channel. I appreciate you too. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then thank you to all of y'all for helping making this episode fun to review. Fun to review. Okay. Until the next one. Bye-bye.